Then guys, we are going to study today to multiply the polynomials. We are going to solve some examples. Okay, we are going to use some properties of the exponents. So for the first one, we need to multiply monomials. There are two monomials that I'm going to multiply. Later, I'm going to continue multiplying bigger terms, but in this case, they are the easiest. In this case, I prefer to solve the three of them with you, so you can see how it works. Okay, so for the first one, if we multiply the monomials, we have 5x to the power of 2. This is the exercise 1A. Okay, I have 5x to the power of 2 multiplied by 4x to the power of 3. Then how are you going to multiply this? When you multiply, you need to multiply the numbers by the numbers, and you are going to work the multiplication of the variables, okay, apart. So 5 times 4, and later x to the power of 2 times x to the power of 3. I'm going to copy like appears on the book, so you have this part, 5 times 4, and x to the power of 2 times x to the power of 3. You already remember about the properties of the exponents, right? That if you have something like this, it's the same variable, different exponents, so we only need to add the exponents, okay? So when we multiply variables, if the variable is the same, it's only that I'm going to add the exponents. For the numbers, we need to solve the multiplication. So for the numbers, there's no other solution. Only that 5 times 4 is going to be 20. And we have x to the power of 2 plus 3, because we have the exponents for both cases. And in this case, we are going to have 20x to the power of 5. Okay, I was trying to show you all the steps for this one. So for the second one, we have two monomials again. We need to multiply two monomials. The first one is, I'm going to write 1b parentheses. The monomial is negative 3, x to the power of 3, y to the power of 2, multiplied by 4x y to the power of 5. So about the monomials, you are not going to get confused with this, because remember, I multiply the number by the number and the variables by the variables. So we need to know that difference, like in the addition or subtraction that we separated, okay? We are going to do the same in here. So we have negative 3 times 4, and in other parentheses I have 3x to the power of 3, y to the power of 2, multiplied by x, y to the power of 5, okay? And you can separate in more parentheses if you want, okay? You can separate one parenthesis for the x, another parenthesis for y. It's going to be the same. When you start solving more exercises, you are not going to get confused because they are different variables. If you multiply x to the power of 3 times x, it's going to be x to the power of 4, because you add the exponents, 3 plus 1. If you multiply y to the power of 2 times y to the power of 5, is going to be y to the power of 7, because you only add the exponents for the variables. And in here then is going to be I'm going to copy other line so you can see how is the procedure. And in the other one is for y. Okay. So if you feel more comfortable, you can see that we can write all the procedure. But if you already know how to do it and you are not going to get confused, you can do it since the first moment. So 3 times 4 is negative 12 because this is negative. 3 plus 1, x to the power of 4, and 2 plus 5, y to the power of 7. Okay. So this is the result that we have for the multiplication of these two monomials. Okay. Now for the last one is A, B, and C. We have 3 different variables. But what is going to be the difference? Okay, we don't have anything different. We are going to separate in parentheses so we can have it more in order. And later we are going to solve. If you don't like to use many steps, like in here, for example, you can do it, but you need to be sure that you are not going to confuse with the results that you obtain. So I'm going to erase in here and we can continue with the other example. With the example number 3. Okay, so it's 1C. For the example 1C, we have that 1/2 a to the power of 3 b multiplied by a to the power of 2 c to the power of 2 and the other one is 6b to the power of 2. Okay, so what can we do in here is to start the operations, multiply the numbers and the variables, okay, in different parentheses. So we can write, for example, 1/2 multiplied by, in here there are no numbers, 6 multiplied by 6. The other parenthesis is going to be for the variable a to the power of 3 multiplied by a to the power of 2. In here there is no a, so we don't multiply it by any. Now we are going to multiply b. I have b and b to the power of 2. b times b to the power of 2. In here we don't have b. We only have c to the power of 2, and in here I don't have c, so it's only 1 c to the power of 2. And you already know the result. 1/2 of 6 is going to be 3. Okay, you only obtain the half of 6 when you multiply it by 1/2. A to the power of 5. B to the power of 3. And C to the power of 2. So this is the result that we obtain for the multiplication. So as you can see, the multiplication is an easy operation if you remember about the properties of the exponents, the properties of exponents. That we add the exponent when it's a multiplication. Remember that if we have a division, we subtract. So in here we need to add the exponents. Okay. Questions until this part? So we can continue with the number 2. I don't know if you have some questions with this. I'm going to raise the board and I show you the exercise 2C. Exercise 2C is for A multiplying the things that are inside the parentheses. The first one is a to the power of 2 multiplied by b. And in the other part we have plus 2b to the power of 2 okay, and we are going to multiply using the distributive property. Remember, the distributive property states okay. The distributive property, guys, states that if we have one number multiplying outside the parentheses, I need to multiply by all the terms inside the parentheses. When I take when I'm talking about one term, I'm talking about 4a, not only the 4, not only the letter a. I'm talking about all the term. Okay, I'm going to multiply by this term and by this term. So what we have is this 4a multiplying a to the power of 2b plus 4a multiplying 2b to the power of 2. Okay, so I distribute the number by all the terms inside the parentheses, and now I can do the operations. We have 4 in here, a multiplying a to the power of 2, and I have the other part that is only b. I have only one b. Look at that in here, I don't have any. So I just copy this part. Plus 4 multiplied by 2. In here I have other numbers, so and later a multiplying b to the power of 2. In here you can see that we don't have a, so we are not going to multiply like in here. A times a to the power of 2. In here we have it. The other one, no. Okay. So this is in the way that in the book they show you. Okay, only that they separate in parentheses. I'm skipping one step. Maybe I don't want you to get confused with this. Okay. So I separate in parentheses the variables that they are different, but at the end, you know that you are only going to copy the answer. Okay. So you multiply. The number 4 doesn't have any term to multiply, so you only copy a to the power of 1 and a to the power of 2. They are going to be a to the power of 3. You only copy b because you don't have anything to multiply with. Plus 4 times 2, that is going to be 8. A and b to the power of 2. You just copy them because they cannot be multiplied. They are different. One is a and the other one is b, so you cannot multiply them. So about this example, I don't know if you have one question before we go to the last one. As you can see, it's the same. Okay, only that we have 2 terms now inside the parentheses, but we do the same. We separate the variables in parentheses when the variables are similar. Okay, for a, for b, c, x, y. Okay, it doesn't matter. If they are similar, you separate it and you keep it, the like terms together. Now we have in the example 3. Okay, you can see the part below that is like a yellow sharp. This is another method for multiplying by binomials. It's called the FOIL method. Okay, but it's only that you multiply all the terms. Okay, so if you memorize how to do it, you are not going to have any problems. Okay. Multiplying binomials is the last one, the last part that we have. So I'm going to show you C. Okay. I'm going to erase in here. Exercise number 3. We have 3a to the power of 2 minus b. This is multiplied by the other term, that is a to the power of 2 minus 2b. So guys, in here is the same. You need to multiply all the terms. So for example, you can multiply this by this and this by this. Later, you are going to multiply this by the first term and by the second term, okay? So for you to not get confused, you start first with one term and multiply it by the other two that you have in the other side, and later you do the same with the second term that we have, okay? So you don't get confused multiplying one and later the other one. So, or you can do the same if you multiply this by the first, later this by the first again. You multiply this by the other one, and this by the other one.
Mister,
So, tell me.
él está teniendo un problema con el internet, entonces se tuvo que salir.
Okay. So then guys, it doesn't matter in the way that you solve it. Only the important part is that you multiply everything, okay? So you need to multiply all the terms. In the book, they multiply 3a to the power of 2 by the second terms first. 3a to the power of 2 multiplying a to the power of 2. And it's going to be minus, this is negative, so it's minus 3a to the power of 2 multiplying 2b. Or you can write the plus and you write the negative inside the parentheses. This is the way that the book uses. So you write the negative in here and you don't confuse. Okay, and for the other one, plus, and you multiply negative b times a to the power of 2. And for the last one, plus the multiplication of these two, negative b and negative 2b. Okay? Two times b on this one. Okay, I don't have the space enough. So this is what we have, and we only start with the operations. Later we are going to need to add 3 a to the power of 2 times a to the power of 2 is going to be a to the power of 4 minus 3a to the power of 2 b. It's not 3 because 3 times 2 is 6, so this is 6. Minus a to the power of 2 b. I'm trying to write in the same order. First the a and later the b. Minus 2b to the power of 2. So I think that this is the order that we have. We only need to add then. This is going to be positive, right? Because negative and this was negative too. Okay. So this is positive. This is negative a to the power of 2 and this is 6. You only have a to the power of 4 in here, so you cannot add with this because they have a and b, okay? So it's like they have different variables. You cannot add with this because there is only B, and the other one you have A and B. But these two you can add. This one and this one you can add because it's A to the power of 2 and B. So they are like terms. 3A to the power of 4 minus 6 and 1, 7, A to the power of 2, B. It's an addition with negative numbers. Plus 2B. Okay? So that's we have for the last example. Okay? In the example that we are going to solve tomorrow is multiplying polynomials. So it's the same, guys, only that each time we have more terms. Obviously, if we multiply monomials, it's going to be easier to simplify. And if we multiply two polynomials, you are going to have more terms to add. But the procedure is the same, okay? The way in that you are going to multiply, the way that you used to find the answer is going to be the same, okay? So I'm going to finish the recording, guys, and I'm going to give you some time to ask.